came out this year. It is Elden Ring.
Let's go.
I was so afraid this was going to happen. I saw footage, and I'm not the biggest open world fan. However, Elden Ring just brought it to a whole nother level, and I could not stop playing it. I'm surprised I found a moment in this year to play Frogun, um, and I eventually just went back to Elden Ring, and I just couldn't stop playing it. I applied my heavy restrictions on the gameplay because, of course, I'm just not a big fan of summons and just being overpowered. I just like, being getting more personal with the boss fights, and I feel like Elden Ring just really encapsulates what I love the most about the From Software games: the incredible level design, just the unique atmosphere, outstanding gameplay. I was stubborn at first and I didn't do jump attacks, but once I started using jump attacks, I fell in love with it immediately. And man, what can I say?
You know that it's a really good game and a really good boss fight when after it you feel obligated to do the bow emote after you've defeated them.
Oh
Good fight.
yes, and I like adding gestures into my quick, when you hold triangle and it just does an emote depending on your controller movement, and I set all the gestures, and it's random. You never know which one you're going to get, and I love doing that after each boss fight. This is the first time I've played and fought bosses without the heads up display. It adds a whole nother level of satisfaction just not knowing when the boss is going to die. Plus, it looks good in a review that I was making throughout. Now, a lot of people would argue saying, "Oh, I need to know if you took damage or not," and I have a bad habit of not clicking on my status and showing that I didn't take damage. I've done that for a few. I definitely did that for the Godskin Duo. I'm like, okay, here, I didn't take any hits.
Did the boss? Here's the one. If the boss stuck his sword in me, I probably took damage.
Yeah, I actually had some people say, "Oh, you took damage right there." I'm like, "No, I didn't." And he was like, "Yeah, I played. I'm an expert, and I know when he took damage." I'm like, I show my
Everyone's an
stats at the
expert.
end. Yeah, everyone's got to be an expert. But yeah, what can I say? I mean, Elden Ring just blew me away. The original number one was Dark Souls. Now, of course, that's contained within.
Elden Ring. It says Elden Ring is now at the front of the pack.
Yeah, I can't think I don't even know if Elden Ring will ever be topped. I can't think of any game that could possibly top it. Um, Man, I can't think of what kind of game could offer the creative freedom that Elden Ring has. Maybe Elden Ring 2 possibly.
Dude, Elden Ring 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah,
Obviously.
but I'm trying my best to keep it brief, but there's just so much. I mean, there's a reason why I haven't reviewed the From Software games because it feels like I can't even respectly
I
describe.
can't do it unbiased. They're
Yeah,
good. I like.
yeah, I know. I'm like,
Then just
yeah,
do
I
what I
love
do.
Elden Ring,
Just
and that's because I
just do
feel.
what I do. Make a totally biased, 100% positive. I think that's totally okay. I think there is a space
Mhm.
for people to just talk about the positive. You can find the negatives everywhere.
Mhm.
But what is somebody who is deeply, passionately in love and is trying to look for a legal way to marry this game? What does that look like?
Yes, and what you said is true. I mean, really, pretty much the only way I can explain how I love these games without trying to just slip in a little review is just to basically just pick a topic in the game that I love and just write a script, make a video, and just do it that way. And I feel like that would respect the game's legacy much more than just one simple review of it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that some people are like, oh, I don't know if I'll be able to do this justice or give it a fair review. It's like, then don't give it a just simp hard. It's okay to simp for some games.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't care. That's what I'm basically doing in my scripts. I'm simping straight up for
Yep.
games. They can do no wrong,
I
and that's
think
all right.
this is the first time I've ever seen people review a game without finishing it. Well, when I say that, it's just the mass amount of people that reviewed the game without finishing it. The Elden Ring
Mhm.
was just so massive. People just couldn't wait to release their a review of it. I really wish they wouldn't have called it a review. It really should have been first
First
impressions.
impressions, yeah. I think retrospectives are worth infinitely more than reviews are. That's
Yes.
a whole topic for another day, but I
Mm.
genuinely think that retrospectives, like you've seen there's so many channels that do retrospective videos, but I think those are worth a lot more than reviews because you have the context of whatever's come out between that game and now, as well as you've had years of time to process the game and say, this is what this was about, instead of just it was kind of hard. There was a dude with a stick that kept smacking me named Margit, and that was it. And that doesn't tell you everything you need to know.
Yeah, I feel like if you're gonna upload boss fights on YouTube, you really should be displaying everything about the boss. I think being overpowered doesn't really, show much, in my opinion. If you're going to showcase a boss, I think you really should have everything the boss offers, and that's just my opinion. I understand a lot of people still feel proud about killing a boss. It's just, killing a boss in 2 or 3 hits is just not really interesting, in my opinion.
Bro, Dark Souls does have an easy mode. It's called sorcery.
Yeah, there you go.